Oh, hi. How's everyone doing? This is the Melvin Live Show, and I'm glad you're able to make it here today because today we're going to be talking about the platforms for live streaming, right? And when we talk about platforms for live streaming, I think a lot of time people think about um, Facebook, LinkedIn, uh, YouTube, and perhaps even Instagram, right? But the platform, what's that? But the platform that I'm talking about here today, it's something a little different. But before I dive deep into that, I just want you to know that this show it's sponsored by me. And the reason why I'm sponsoring this show is because I totally believe in the idea of building this one person, 1 million all digital business. And for all of you who are thinking about wanting to stop trading time for money and wanting to be able to leverage technology, leverage the digital platform to do the work for you, then this is the show that you want to pay attention to, right? And so, if you are watching from anywhere in the world, let me know where are you watching it from, and on which platform are you watching this from, right? And so, today we're going to be talking about the four platforms, the four key platforms that you should consider live streaming to. So, I think the question that I get almost all the time is where do you live stream it to? And when people ask that question, inevitably they kind of expect the answer would be maybe YouTube, maybe Facebook, maybe Instagram. But when I tell people that you can actually live stream on LinkedIn, not many people actually know that. Uh, Primarily because I think LinkedIn only roll out the live video feature only to a few select individual. I'm one of the few lucky or persistent ones who have went on to apply for the ability to stream live on LinkedIn. I applied I think, at least three times before I managed to get the access to LinkedIn Live itself. And I must say that the LinkedIn Live platform it's actually a very different platform because first and foremost you have to apply to have access to the platform to live stream. Secondly, is that you actually need to pay to stream live. So, for example, with the other platforms, you just need to go to Facebook or YouTube and you'll be able to stream live, right? I mean, you do not need special access to that. But on LinkedIn, it's a little bit different. You have to actually go through an application process. And I sometimes joke that the application process is even more difficult than a job application process itself, because it asks you for a bunch of things. And some of those things are like, you're scratching your head, like, I do not know what to say. And whatever I say, will it be able to help me get, access to the live feature faster, or how does that work itself, right? So it's a bit of a uphill process, and I would say a little bit of a oblique process itself. You don't quite know what's going on. Of course, knowing people who have access to that and being able to appear on their show does help. All right, so that's something that I would suggest that you consider. Now, back to the platforms. So yesterday we talked about the two key variables. If you, in case you have not watched, make sure you go ahead and watch that. And once again, for those of you who are wherever you're watching from, make sure you leave a comment. I read every comments. I see every comment that I could hear that, and that's something that I would ask you to do. Right. So leave me a comments, and I'll be more than glad to kind of give you a shout out here. So the platforms, right? So the platforms yesterday I talked about the two key variables. One of the variable, it's creation, because when you think about creating a live stream, one aspect of it is creation, and in creation itself, you have production, you have creativity, and also you have the content. So that's the creation bit. Now you also have the other aspect, which is the distribution, right? And the distribution part, I think, for the most part, many of us focus a little too much in terms of the creation, not enough on the distribution. And of course, distribution you can see as different levels, because at one level, distribution would mean streaming to those platforms. Another level, it's really leveraging those platforms to be able to market or to promote your stream even before you go live. So one of the software that I use, or the software that I use, is Restream, which it's very good because it allows me to schedule my live stream in advance, and that way it gets populated on the various platforms itself. And when I go live, it goes directly to that post itself. So it's extremely good, saves me a ton of time, because all I need to do is to go into Restream and type in everything that I need, and it goes out to all the different platforms. Now, of course, I can go in there and make changes, things that are peculiar to the platform itself. I can do that, and that it's something that is absolutely, absolutely great. So today we want to talk about an extension of the distribution, because, like I said, when we talk about distribution, we are looking at two level. One, it's the platforms that you stream live to, and the other one, it's really how do you use those platforms to leverage in terms of marketing, for example, right? So when it comes to the platforms, like I mentioned, people would think that it's is it Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and all that. I like you to kind of think of it as an even broader level, and I'll go into a bit more detail why each of those platforms are crucial. But what are the pros and cons of each of those platforms itself? So there are four key platforms that you would definitely want to think about. Number one platform is what I call the platform that you own. Now, I mean, like I mentioned last check, I don't think any one of us here owns a network. But what we do have access to is the ability to live stream. Now we're going a little bit more technical here, but there is this thing called RMTP, and what that does is that it allows you to stream to your website or any website that you choose to. So, for example, if you have a website that it's has got a huge amount of traffic coming in, right? You can actually live stream by using the RMTP to go into stream directly to your website itself, right? That's something that you can do. Of course, it is different from you streaming live on, let's say, YouTube, and then embedding that video onto your website. Because primarily, what it does is that the stream goes into YouTube, and from YouTube, it's kind of like channeling to all these different places. So the first platform is what I call your own platform. And why would you want to, stream to your own platform? Well, there could be many reasons. One of the primary reason why I would do that is because I want to stream to a group of people who are within a community, within my own community, that it's been set up such that they only have exclusive access to that content itself, right? So that becomes my own platform. It's not a private Facebook group. It is just a platform that I created using one of the LMS, the learning management system, to create a community space whereby I will stream directly to that site itself. So that's one level. So the 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 positive part of that is that I have absolute control in terms of who see that live stream and who doesn't, right? And that live stream is purely just for members only, and as a result, that is where I would only stream to. Now, so the positive thing, the pro of that is that you can stream and you can exclude or decide who have access to that, right? The negative part about this whole process itself is that uh, you do not gain anything in terms of SEO, right? Search engine optimization. So what you can potentially do is the following: you can choose from time to time to make one of those exclusive video a free for all as a teaser or as a preliminary or as a general topic that could be of interest to other people. So, for instance, if someone goes to my community website itself, by the way, my community website right now is under a revamp, so you know many things are being taken off. But when you go into my community website, what you will see in the past is that you will see some videos that are only exclusively for members. You would also see videos that are made available for anyone who, even without a registration, they can have access to that. And the main reason why I would do that is because I want to leverage the SEO component, because it's a topic that is really top of the funnel. And I'm also looking at using that as a lead generation to kind of encourage people to consider, joining as a member and then have exclusive content, access to the content itself, right? So that is one reason why you would want to have a uh, your own platform itself when you do your live stream, right? So the first one is the your own platform. Now, another reason why you definitely want to stream to your own uh, website, and even if you do not do an RMTP, you just perhaps want to embed your YouTube live videos onto your website. What you are doing there really is you can potentially be building up the SEO component bit of it. Now, this is going to take you a long time, and if you are just kind of doing it by yourself, it's going to take you a really long time. But what the upside of this is that you will then be able to, really leverage and take advantage of the fact that this thing has been is being built, and the payoff could be tremendous itself, right? So that's definitely something that you would want to pay attention to, because I think it's a really really great way to kind of have your own cornerstone platform, have a platform that you own and that you have absolute control in terms of who can see and who cannot see your live stream itself. So many people I know, for example, they start a patron account and then they open up their live stream to only their patrons, and so primarily what they do is that they kind of stream into YouTube as an unlisted video, and then they provide the link to the members itself. Right, that is one way to do it, but of course that it's not a foolproof way. In other words, anyone who have access to that URL will then be able to access your content. Right, so if access is something that you're concerned with, then definitely you want to consider streaming to your own website via an RMTP, right? And in any case, I just want to know how many of you, have ever streamed directly to your own website itself. I've only done it once or twice, and because at the point in time I was still experimenting, I found that whole process to be really, really exclusive, and the whole experience of someone who is consuming the content to be really, really have a great experience with that. So that was something that was really, really cool. All right, so that's the first platform, your own platform itself. Now, the second platform is what I call the earned platform, right? It's a platform that you earn to be able to live stream to. And when you think about that, those earned platform, one way to think about it is the following. You have managed to establish some level of authority, or perhaps you have identified certain people within your peer group that gives you the opportunity to do some form of collaboration, right? And with that collaboration itself, it's really what it really means is that you give yourself that opportunity to have access to the person that you're collaborating with, and to be able to tap on his or her audience. Likewise, you are crossing it the other way itself. So for example, if you have a channel, I could jump in and become a guest on your channel. Your audience would discover me and my audience would discover you, right? And so that is a way to think about the earned platform. So this is really based on relationship and based on the trust that you build with each other within the peer group, within that community that you have, right? So I have appeared on several people's live stream, and I've also invited people to come onto my live stream itself. It was a great experience, and it really opens up opportunity for both sides. So, but in order to get to that level and to be able to have that kind of opportunity, you really want to earn it. And the best way to earn it is to show up consistently, and then to be able to engage with people and provide value to them. That would be the sure way to do that, right? So, if you have a live stream channel, or if you have a live show and you like to collaborate, let me know. Leave your live show URL in the comments, and I'll get in touch with you, and we'll see how we could collaborate and bring the value to both sets of our audience itself. All right. So uh, that's the second one, which is the earned platform. Now, the third one, if you probably guessed by now, is what I call the paid platform, right? So these paid platforms essentially are platforms like LinkedIn. The way I look at it is that it's a paid platform because even if you have access to to the live um, feature, you still need to pay in order to live stream. Sure, you could use Restream, you could use StreamYard as a free tool to live stream to LinkedIn. But what potentially that happens is that you still have the watermark of Restream or StreamYard, and that can potentially dilute your brand. So if you are a excuse me, if you are a small business, definitely you want to do more than just using the free version. I mean, the free version is great for you to just experiment, but if you're doing it for your business itself, I would strongly encourage you to pay for a subscription, at least to remove the watermark, if and also to have access to some of the better features, like for example on Restream, I'm able to stream to a at a 1080p resolution itself, whereas most of the platforms by default they kind of allow you to stream at 720p, right? So a lower resolution, and so Restream allow you to do that, but in order to have access to that feature, you need to pony up a few bucks in your subscription to have access to that, right? So that is the paid. Now, the other form of paid platform really is on Facebook, right? Because what you can potentially do is that you could actually create an event, and you could then look at promoting the event, hence paying for distribution, paying for marketing, but then potentially you could also collect money for that as a paid event. So that is definitely something that you can consider. So when we talk about paid platforms, it could be both way. It could be a platform whereby you pay to play, or you get paid to stream, right? So sometimes, for example, like sponsorship or collaboration with small businesses, which I've done before, what happens is that they pay for some part of the cost of the streaming, and we book it as a sponsored event itself. So it has the ability, we have ability to sell tickets. At the same time, we also have the ability to collect a database of people that we want to reach out to. So that is a great way to do your paid platform, right? And finally, of course, the last platform that I would like to talk about here tonight is the social media platforms. And this is where I have alluded yesterday, because if you are that one person business, you probably do not have access to someone who is able to kind of repurpose your video into micro videos itself, and then to push it out to all these different platforms. I mean, if you do that, I mean, unless you are a full-time content creator, otherwise, it's going to be quite difficult for you to uh, have that on a consistent basis. Uh, it's possible, but it's just going to take up way too much time. So the way I look at it is that, why do that when the type of content that you push out might get throttled back, because that's not the kind of content that social media platforms are looking for. So the way we read it is that social media platforms now are actually paying more attention to live stream, primarily because of COVID lockdown, also because of the fact that uh, many of the social media platforms want to be seen as the equivalent of your TV channel. So think of ABC, CBS, Discovery Channel, History Channel, Disney Channel, for example. Those are the channels, and likewise, now think of those channels as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, as an example, right? So social media platforms are the platforms that you definitely want to stream to. And if you were to ask me right now, I would say the best way to do that is to, pony up some dollars and use a service like Restream. By the way, I do not get paid for mentioning them, but if you would like to try, I have an affiliate link. Uh, and if you do sign up, I get a small commission, and everybody wins, right? You get a $10 credit as well. So everybody wins on that part. right? So that's definitely something that you want to consider. You know, get a service like Restream, and then kind of distribute it out to all the different platforms. And then, of course, once it's on that platform itself, you can then repurpose that. And we'll get into the repurposing part in a subsequent video itself. I'm gonna call it a night here today because I'm just having this running nose, and I get it from time to time because I have this issue in my sinus. You probably can recognize my voice is a bit wonky here today, but you know, I do get that from time to time, and sometimes it does get a little tricky. So I think I hope I have provided sufficient value for you here today. If you got a question about distribution and platforms, please leave them in the comments below, whether you're watching this on the live or on the replay, because I will look at every comment and I will, address each and every comment that it's being left on the episode itself. Right. So once again, this is the Melvin Live Show, and on this show, I talk about actionable strategies that you can take as a one person 1 million all digital business. So the action for you to take here today is that consider at least going beyond just the social media platform. Think about your own media platform. Think about paid media platform, and also think about earned media platforms to live stream your show. Uh, and that's the best way to get more people in your audience and to be able to allow your message to be heard by more people than it otherwise would. All right. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye bye.